Bees, the invisible architects of life on Earth. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to hear may forever change the way you see one of the smallest, most ignored, and paradoxically most important creatures on the entire planet Earth. They do not roar, they do not attack cities, they do not dominate headlines. But without them, the world simply does not work. Today, we are going to talk about bees, the hum that holds the world together. In a silent field, the most important sound is not the wind, nor the bird song. It is the hum, a sound almost imperceptible, constant, ancient. A sound that has existed for more than 100 million years, since before humans, before modern forests, even before most of the animals we know today. Bees emerged when the planet was still reorganizing itself, and since then, they have never stopped working. While civilizations rose and fell, while empires were built and destroyed, while humanity learned how to write, wage war, and conquer, bees kept doing exactly the same thing, pollinating, without applause, without recognition, without rest. The greatest invisible job in history. More than 75% of all flowering plants on the planet depend, directly or indirectly, on pollination. And the main agent of this process is not the wind, it is not the rain, it is not humans, it is bees. Every flight a bee makes is not random. It is not chaos. It is biological engineering. When a bee lands on a flower, its body becomes covered in pollen. When it visits the next flower, it transfers life. This simple gesture is responsible for fruits, vegetables, seeds, entire forests, and complete food chains. Without bees, there are no apples, no coffee, no chocolate, no almonds, no biodiversity as we know it. What seems small supports everything. A tiny brain, an absurd intelligence. A bee has a brain the size of a sesame seed, and even so, it can recognize human faces, memorize complex routes, communicate precise food locations, make collective decisions, learn from experience, solve spatial problems. All of this with fewer than 1 million neurons, while the human brain has billions. Bees do not just work, they think, they learn, they adapt, and they do this together, like a single distributed mind. The dance that transmits information in 1945, scientists discovered something unbelievable. Bees dance, but not for fun. The so-called waggle dance is an extremely sophisticated communication system. Through specific movements, precise angles, and calculated duration, a bee informs the others about the distance to a food source, the exact direction relative to the sun, the quality of the food found. It is living mathematics. It is body language turned into GPS. No maps, no technology, no error. The most efficient society in nature. A beehive is not organized chaos. It is a living superstructure. Each bee is born with a function. Workers, drones, the queen. Workers clean, build, feed, defend, and explore. Drones have a single purpose, reproduction. And the queen is the biological heart of the colony. She does not rule. She does not command. She maintains the chemical cohesion of the group. Without the queen, the hive collapses. Honey, a biochemical miracle. Honey does not spoil, ever. Jars of honey found in Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old were still fit for consumption. That is because honey is antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, rich in enzymes, naturally preserved. To produce 1 kilogram of honey, bees need to visit around 4 million flowers, a single kilogram. That is collective sacrifice. That is persistence in its purest form. Do bees feel pain? Do they feel emotions? Recent studies reveal something unsettling. Bees show signs of stress, optimism, frustration, fear. When exposed to negative situations, they become more pessimistic in future decisions. They are not robots. They are complex living beings, capable of feeling the world. The silent collapse. In recent years, bee populations have been disappearing, silently. Pesticides, monocultures, habitat destruction, climate change. The phenomenon has a name: colony collapse disorder. Entire hives abandoned, with no apparent explanation, with no return. And when bees disappear, the ecosystem follows the same path. If bees disappear, humanity has 4 years. The quote is attributed to Einstein. Whether he actually said it or not doesn't really matter. The logic is correct. Without bees, agriculture collapses, biodiversity crumbles, hunger spreads. The modern world is fragile, and it depends on something tiny. The future depends on them. And on us saving bees is not a romantic act. It is survival, planting flowers, reducing pesticides, preserving habitats, supporting beekeepers, educating. Every small action is one more flower along their path. The true size of greatness. Bees never asked for recognition. They never asked for temples. They never asked for statues. They never asked for anything. They simply worked. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson they leave us. That greatness does not make noise. That what is essential is not always visible. And that the future of the world may depend on the beating wings of a being almost no one notices. The next time you hear a hum, don't wave it away. Don't ignore it. You may be hearing the sound of life itself in motion. Did you enjoy learning more about this incredible animal? Turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for upcoming videos. Every day, a curious fact about a different animal.